Well, hello everyone. I'm back again with our second lesson. And I know I said I'd be talking about intelligence today, but I'm actually not finished with attitudes. So I thought I'd make this the second part about attitudes because honestly, it is the starting point for success for the rest of your life and my life. I've just been listening to an amazing webinar that's being held right now every day during lockdown. It's through a group of psychologists. It's called My Grow. And every day from 11 till 11:30, they're offering this free webinar to help us psychologically deal with the lockdown and what's going to come. Anyway, it's amazing. Anyone can sign up for it for free from 11 till 11:30 every weekday during the lockdown. Well, today they were talking about how our brain functions. And interestingly enough, our subconscious mind, because we have our conscious and our subconscious mind, the subconscious mind apparently doesn't decipher with what's right, what's wrong. We've got to work that out consciously. So our unconscious mind just absorbs information without being too, without judging it and kicking out what we don't need. That we have to do consciously. And we have in our brain, we have the one organ, it's called the amygdala. Now, the amygdala, apparently 60% of it is used to scan our environment for dangers. So it has a huge negativity bias, which means 2/3 of our brain basically are more geared towards absorbing and picking up on negativity, because in a way it's a way of protecting us. But it can be detrimental because it means that a lot of positivity we could miss. Just think, they gave an example. If someone pays us a compliment, we almost brush it off quite quickly. We don't spend too much time thinking about it. But if someone passes a negative comment, well, if you're anything like me, we stew on it and we think about it. And we spend a lot more time on that one negative thought than we would on a positive compliment. So it ties in very well with our attitudes. And unless we examine our attitudes, they could be very negative because we have this tendency to have information that we don't consciously really assimilate. And unless we intentionally look at our attitudes, we could be being driven by attitudes that are really less than helpful. So that's what I thought I would share with you from today's episode. There's a very nice saying. I absolutely love it. It says, successful people do what unsuccessful people are not willing to do. Have you ever thought about that? Successful people do what unsuccessful people are not willing to do. Not able to do, they're not willing to do. I did a workshop a few years back on developing entrepreneurial skills, and we divided everyone into groups to work out if they were going to start their own business, what would their role be, what would they start and what would their role be. But it was so interesting because so many of them said, well, okay, now I'm the manager of my company and I'm going to need this and I'm going to need that and I'm going to do this. So then I started asking them questions. And I remember once I said to one group, okay, you're starting this new little business up. Who's going to clean the toilets and wipe the floors? Well, he says, not me, because I'm going to be the manager. I thought that was most interesting, so I wrote on the board, successful people do what unsuccessful people are not prepared to do. Generally, people who start a business have to do everything, and it includes cleaning the toilets and wiping the floors. So someone doesn't just become a manager. One has to earn it, work up, and especially when you start your own business, you'd be surprised at what you actually have to do. But a lot of people are not willing to do it. I know someone who can't hold down a job. And it's not because he's stupid, but it's because of his attitude. Some jobs he feels are just beneath him. He feels that, and he doesn't mind verbally saying so, that the company is not being run properly. So he criticizes the company, he opens his mouth where it's not appropriate, and he has a kind of attitude about him. Well, guess what? If someone is that clever, why don't they open up their own business? Why don't they? But can you see how their attitude is preventing them? And this person is actually unemployed. And quite frankly, he's unemployable purely because of his attitude. So that's what I would like to share with you, that successful people do what unsuccessful people are not willing to do. You know, unsuccessful people often have these kind of attitudes. They say, no, I'm scared. These are the stories, if we're a loser, we'll tell ourselves, I'm scared, I can't do that. I've never done it before. I'm stupid. What if I look stupid? No, I don't feel like it. No, it's too hard. My teacher's stupid. It's my parents' fault. It's not my fault. You can always tell a loser by the attitudes, the bad attitudes they have, the excuses they make, and who they blame. I love this saying, Bernard Shaw, famous author, he said, just listen to this. He says, this is the true joy in life, being used for a purpose, recognized by yourself as a mighty one, being a force of nature, instead of a feverish, selfish little clod of ailments and grievances, complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you or me happy. Isn't that interesting? It's so easy to complain. And I think this does tie in. You might wonder, well, why am I talking about this? It ties in very much into how we tackle the school system, how we tackle our education. Because if we're going to criticize, blame, and complain, which are the three most useless forms of behavior, we are never going to progress and get anywhere. Bill Gates, he addressed a group of graduates at high school, and he quoted from a book. It was about the 11 rules of life. And I'd like to end off this section on attitudes by just reading you what he said these rules are. And just think about it. Life is not fair. Get used to it. So if we're going to always stick on, well, that's not fair, life is not fair. Get used to it. Rule 2, the world won't care about your self-esteem. The world will expect you to accomplish something before you feel good about yourself. Rule 3, you will not make $40,000 a year right out of high school. You won't be a vice president with a car phone until you earn both. 4, if you think your teacher's tough, wait until you get a boss. Flipping burgers is not beneath your dignity. Your grandparents had a different word for burger flipping. They called it opportunity. If you mess up, rule number 6, it's not your parents' fault, so don't whine about your mistakes, learn from them. 7, before you were born, your parents weren't as boring as they are now. They got that way from paying your bills, cleaning your clothes, and listening to you talk about how cool you are. So before you save the rainforest from the parasites of your parents' generation, try delousing the closet in your own room. Rule number 8, your school may have done away with winners and losers, but life has not. In some schools, they've abolished failing grades and they'll give you as many times as you want to get the right answer. That doesn't bear the slightest resemblance to anything in life. Life is not divided into semesters. You don't get summers off, and very few employers are interested in helping you find yourself. You have to do that on your own time. Kind of hard lessons, hard rules, but they're true. Rule 10, television is not real life. In real life, people actually have to leave the coffee shop and go to jobs. Rule 11, be nice to nerds. The chances are you'll get to work for one. So judging by the success of Bill Gates, I assume he knows what he's talking about. And realistically, the world is a tough place. We have no idea what's waiting for us at the end of COVID-19 and how it's going to impact on the way we work and the way the world runs. So bottom line is, attitudes are everything. And unless we change our attitudes, we're not going to do well at school. We're not going to do well in the world. So just remember, in conclusion, the saying that said, successful people do what unsuccessful people are not willing to do. Everything is based on effort. So I wish you well. Stay safe, wash your hands, and tomorrow we're going to tackle an interesting subject of intelligence. What is intelligence? Are there different types of intelligence? How can we maximize our intelligence? And what can influence our intelligence? I always thought that if a person was intelligent, they would do well. I've learned differently, and I'd like to share that important message with you in our next video. So go well, enjoy the day, and I hope you found that this helpful. Some of the information you might feel is a little bit hard, but you know what? Let's say it like it is. That is really what life is all about. And it's so sad when people's attitudes block their progress, their quality of life, and their relationships in this world. So let's not live unconsciously. Let's be intentional and look at what are our attitudes? What are your attitudes? What are mine? And where are they really holding us up? Right. So bye for now. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.